Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So when we think about multi-baggers, one of the standout stories from India is of Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala picking the Titan stock. So back he started investing in Titan at rupees 3 somewhere in 2002. Now that stock is trading after roughly 20 years at a price of 3000 plus rupees. So that's a 1000 times gains, not 1000%, 1000 times gains. So हम भी सोचते हैं कि यार, you know what, if there is a way that if we can pick even one single such stock, life will be so easy, everything will be so great, and we will end up making so much money. People take crazy amount of risk looking for the next multi-bagger. इतनी दुनिया भर की research करते हैं. So can we really find multi-baggers? Is there a framework that I would propose? Is there a way that I can find multi-baggers? So let me quickly explain that. I can't find multi-baggers, but definitely I can apply my knowledge, apply my brain to improve my odds of finding multi-baggers. So on this video, I'm going to do 2-3 things. Number one, I'm going to share that framework with you as to how you can apply a little bit of brain in order to improve your odds of finding the next multi-bagger. Second, what are some of the key things that you need to keep in mind while applying this framework? And third and finally, I am going to discuss some stocks that I feel might become multi-baggers and what is my strategy of investing in them. So that is the precise piece of conversation that we are going to have. Also, usually speaking, multi-baggers typically come from industries which are in that growing segment. One such industry was tech up until very recently. Usme there have been a lot of layoffs and a bunch of problems are happening in that industry. So is that industry going to remain, or is there a better industry where we can go and invest? Same applies to your skill set also. So on that note, let me introduce you partners of today's video, which is Growthschool. It is an excellent upskilling platform where you can pick the next multi-bagger skills. For example, one such skill is learning about ChatGPT and AI. Growthschool does a 3-hour paid workshop on these topics, but they are organizing a absolutely free of cost workshop on ChatGPT and AI. This is applicable to first 1000 students only, so do check out the links in the description and comment box. This workshop is taught by Vaibhav Sesanti, who is the founder of Growthschool, and he has a very friendly style of teaching the entire topic. In fact, I have personally attended this workshop and found it to be really interesting. So if you are someone who is looking for better salary hikes, promotions, and better opportunities in your career, then definitely go and check out this workshop. Learning these type of trending skills can help you get ahead in your career and can help you outcompete your peers and grow significantly in your career. The sooner you start learning these skills, the better your career prospects would be. So definitely go and check it out. This workshop is free, absolutely free of cost for the first 1000 students. So with this said, let's move over to the main video and let me first and foremost break down the Titan story for you, because this aspect which I'm going to talk about is not known to many people. That as to why Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala invested in this stock, that still remains a mystery, because if I show you some financial data on the Titan stock back in the year 2000, 2001, 2002, आपको लगेगा यार क्या बेकार stock है, right? So okay, so let me first and foremost show it to you and then I will tell you more things. So let's first and foremost take a look at the financial history of the firm in the year 2000, 2001, 2002. You will see that actually the profits of the company back in the day was declining year on year. Very, very important point, because हमें लगता है कि यार ऐसी कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए हमेशा where the profits are growing, but यहाँ पे तो उल्टा हो रहा है. On top of that, somewhere in 2001, Titan was undergoing a series of challenges. There were like union strikes, there were internal management issues. So a bunch of problems was happening with the firm internally, and on top of that, even the profits, revenues, everything was declining. Now, if you tag along other financial data point, you will see that getting hit. For example, if you take a look at operating returns or ROC, EBIT, PAT, anything that you look at, the numbers did not look very appealing. So if I have to boil down critical points from this Titan story, there are 6 things that I will like to tell you. That first and foremost, if you're looking to find multi-bagger stocks, then studying the financial data might not be very useful. Now this will look really contrary, but even Mr. Vijay Kedia has said a similar thing. He has said that, you know what, मैं ROCE, ROE ये सब नहीं देखता before investing in a stock. Is that a good way of investing? Maybe, maybe not, depending on your investing style. But yes, if your goal is to find multi-baggers, then studying the financial data and looking for a solid company, जिसमें financial data बहुत ही अच्छा है, right? That will not allow you to buy a stock at, let's say, 3 rupees, which will grow very, very fast, right? And will become like 10x or 20x or 30x in a quick time, right? So that is unlikely to happen, because if everyone is seeing it that the finance data on this particular company is solid, consider for example HDFC bank, the finance data on the company is solid. There is nothing wrong. People are panicking, yeah, ye ho gaya, wo gaya in HDFC Bank, वगैरह वगैरह. But definitely from this point, HDFC Bank is not a multi-bagger stock. It could be a consistent compounder type, right? Point 2. The most likely scenario is that if the company has recently gone through a set of problems, or if there are problems in that space, generally speaking, and if that has been reflected into the stock price, so hoga kya? That you will get that stock at fairly lower valuation. So it will be a discounted stock. So you are going to make profit only when you are buying something extremely low, right? And then flipping it and selling it very high, right? So identify a company which is going through a problem or an industry that has just undergone some kind of problems. So if you pick some kind of a star stock from that particular industry, then the chances are that you will find multi-bagger there, right? So I hope these 2 points are clear. Fourth, it should look like a contrarian bet. So for example, when Mr. Jhunjhunwala started investing his money in Titan, it's not as if that it was a very clear-cut story कि यार इंडिया में लोगों की discretionary income is going to grow like a lot. बहुत ज़्यादा सोना खरीद लेंगे from an organized jeweler, or will the jewelry space will get organized. All these points were not there, and not many people were betting on that stock, right? So it was somewhat of a contrarian bet, right? So I hope this point is clear. Then it should be supported by some kind of a mega trend. So the mega trend that supported Titan was the growth of discretionary income in India. That in the last 20 odd years, India has undergone a massive development. One of the key byproducts of that was that people ended up with more discretionary income. So what did they start doing? Well, they started buying gold because that was considered to be one of the safest investments in India, given the Indian psyche, because we as Indians love real estate and gold even till this day. Very less money actually flows to the stock market from that point. So this was a mega trend of increase in discretionary income, where a lot of money flowed where? Well, it flowed to gold investments, right? Jewelry, vagera and all. So this was a mega trend. And final point is that when Mr. Jhunjhunwala started purchasing Titan, it had a very low PE, and eventually it PE also got expanded and the EPS or earning per share also expanded. So both these things happened, and as a result, the stock price grew from 3 rupees all the way to 3000 plus. So this is the complete story of Titan. Now let me pick some important points and create a framework that will improve your odds of finding multi-baggers, so to say. So let's begin. So here is the framework, and it has 5 parts. The first part is that in order to find multi-baggers, you need to invest your money in a host of stocks. You cannot say that I'm going to invest my money in these 5 companies. One will become a multi-bagger and I will get all my money back. Highly unlikely that that would happen. Very few people know, and the public data is not out on this, but if you do a little bit of reading, you yourself will understand that in order to find Titan as a multi-bagger stock, so to say, Mr. Jhunjhunwala invested in a bunch of companies. So that VC model of multi-bagger investing needs to be understood and discussed a little bit. This again is a philosophy that is adopted by Mr. Vijay Kedia. He again does the same, that he purchases a bunch of companies and unme se 2-4 companies end up giving very good returns. So here is how this entire story of VC based stock investing works in a way. So let me just graphically represent that. So the graphical representation would look something like this, that you end up buying 50 multi-bagger stocks for your portfolio, and then out of those 20 will go to absolute zero, okay, because you are picking what type of companies. You are picking slightly more dangerous companies, which I'll come to in a minute. 10 of them maybe give you like, nifty type of returns, because these are again risky companies. Then 10 might beat nifty 15%, 20% de dengi, and maybe 1 or 2 will end up becoming multi-baggers. So now you can do a weighted average computation and tell me whether you are making any money from this strategy. The short answer is yes, you are making a lot of money through this strategy. In fact, this is a strategy that I am building live with all my students as well, where I have created a 2x, 3x multi-bagger portfolio. अब मैं 1000 वाला तो नहीं identify कर सकता, but I am picking 50 stocks in that portfolio where I will try to play this game exactly. Now I have been discussing all those stocks in the member community section. In case you are interested, you can check all the details in the comment and description box. But आपकी life easy करने के लिए I am going to pick some examples now and start discussing them them along the video. Now, before moving on from this particular point, there are 3 sub points that I will quickly discuss. See, whenever you are trying to create this type of a portfolio, the timing of the portfolio should be somewhat sensible. For example, the macros should support. Right now, my hypothesis is very, very simple. In fact, this is a hypothesis that I've been working on, that markets are going to go from 15,500 levels all the way till 21,500 levels. So this portfolio I have been constructing since then, right? Again, if you are an advanced user, you want to become an advanced user in the stock market, do consider joining the member community. It's a wonderful platform. You will interact with a lot of investors. You will get to learn a lot of advanced techniques, right? So do check it out. We have very rich discussions. So this is point 1. Point 2 is that you should pick an industry or industries in this 50 multi-bagger portfolio type of a thing, where the industry growth rate is greater than the economy growth rate. One such industry is what? Mutual fund, right? So you can pick some stocks from there. Another industry would be what? Insurance. So that again becomes a very good industry, because this is likely to grow higher than what? Higher than the economy rate. Third and finally is that no matter what you pick, हर एक इंडस्ट्री में देयर इज स्विचिंग दैट यू वुड नीड टू डू, बिकॉज स्टॉक्स कैन बिकम वेरी ओवर वैल्यूड समटाइम्स एंड स्टॉक्स कैन बिकम वेरी अंडर वैल्यूड समटाइम्स. सो योर जॉब इज स्टिल टू रोटेट एंड कीप दिस पोर्टफोलियो अलाइव फॉर as long as possible. The second step to the framework is that you should buy companies that are trading at a very low PE and there can be a future EPS growth. So let me give you a very quick example from my portfolio of a multi-bagger pick that I have, which is called as Equitas Small Finance Bank. I am sitting on more than 100% profits. I haven't sold the stock yet. Why? I will explain you and you can understand it also. So see, first and foremost, if you look at the stock PE, for a mid-cap company, this is fairly okay. It's not as if that even now, after giving a massive run-up, and let me show you that first. So आप यहाँ से देख सकते हो that I had purchased Equitas Small Finance Bank somewhere around 50 rupees, right? And now it has gone up. In fact, it went up to almost 100, right? Now it has started to fall down, consolidate. And this type of rise and fall will keep on happening. It had happened on Titan also, and it will happen with every single stock in your 50 multi-bagger portfolio. So this will continue to happen, so don't stress about it. Now, despite making 100% returns on Equitas Small Finance Bank, I still feel that the PE of the stock is reasonable. Why am I saying it? You can do a peer comparison, right? If you consider small finance bank, right? So for example, Equitas Small Finance Bank, अगर आप इसको IDFC First से compare करो, for example, वैसे it's not a apples to apples comparison, but you will see that the PE is still reasonable, right? I don't think that these are right peers to compare Equitas Small Finance Bank with, but typically speaking, small cap companies or mid cap companies should command a slightly higher P compared to large cap companies. That's part A. If you look at the theme, that this is the small finance theme that we are betting on. If the small finance theme grows in India, you stay invested in that theme for a significantly longer amount of time, then आपका पैसा बहुत जल्दी double, triple, 10 times, 50 times भी हो सकता है. Whether you need to switch your stock out of this theme or other small finance bank, that's a call that you will have to make. But the key story is that you have to buy a multi-bagger pick when the PE of the stock is low. On top of that, the EPS should be growing because that indicates that growth is coming. So for example, आप यहाँ से देखो, from March 2016, is the EPS of Equitas Small Finance Bank growing? The short answer seems to be yes, that the EPS is still growing. So therefore, if Equitas Small Finance Bank is a part of my multi-bagger portfolio, so far I am sticking with it. I do feel that the EPS can also grow further. I still feel that there is room for PE expansion. दोनों चीजें हो जाएंगी, then the stock can double, triple from this point very, very easily. So now you might say कि अच्छा अक्षत ये तो पुरानी बातें हो गई, right? That you purchased Equitas Small Finance, you made like 100% returns. Now, which are the next set of stocks that you are betting on? So see guys, please don't take it as a recommendation. This is my bet. Of course, I can be wrong. I spoke about the fact that if you pick 50 multi-bagger picks, 20 are going to die. But if you ask me for one pick, I would probably pick a few stocks from the gaming industry. Two of them would be Delta Corp, in which I have already invested, and second would be Nazara Tech, right? So these are two stocks that I feel bullish about. Why am I bullish on these two stocks? Well, the first key reason is that this is a growing industry. The gaming industry, if you keep on one side, you keep the streaming industry, movie industry, Hollywood, Bollywood, everything combined, gaming industry is bigger, right? So as more and more people start spending more and more time digitally, gaming industry is set to benefit more. It's getting more organized. The monetization opportunities have increased. So both Delta Corp and Nazara Tech are beneficiaries of this change. So this is a mega trend that is happening. Now add to this the fact that what type of problems is this industry coming over as of now. आपने अश्नीर ग्रोवर जी के स्टेटमेंट सुने होंगे क्या GST लग गया, the gambling industry is done and dusted, or gaming/gambling industry has been done and dusted, this that. Correct, but have you studied the business model of Delta Corp? Well, वो casino run करते हैं. Almost 90% of their business comes from casino ships in Goa. So it's a highly concentrated business as of now. Can it go to absolute zero? 100% can go to absolute zero. कल को कुछ problem हो गई तो कुछ all the regulation changes might come even in the casino business, and Delta Corp can go to absolute zero. But if you are looking to find multi-bagger and if you are expecting to make 1000% gain, then you should be okay with a 50-60% loss on the stock also. So please understand that point. It is a very critical point. But coming to the topic, the 28% GST that was introduced was on gambling. And what type of gambling? Online, right? So it did not hit Delta Corp, but a lot of bad sentiment was built on Delta Corp. So from that particular angle, if you build positions in these type of companies from a multi-bagger bet perspective, might be a sensible strategy. Depends on your portfolio. So please consider your risk appetite. The final point here is that when you are picking companies in your multi-bagger stock portfolio, you should pick companies that can become market leader in a particular niche segment. For example, Delta Corp has a very niche operational segment in casinos, physical casinos, right? So that's what they are doing, or largely like ship-based casinos. They are building something around Mopai Airport also. So all that are market expansion opportunities for it. But can it become a market leader in this casino shipping industry? The short answer is yes, they are already market leaders. And if this industry is allowed to expand further, there is a big if, no doubt. But if the industry expands, then Delta Corp becomes a very prime beneficiary of this entire race. Nazara Tech ka explanation I will write on community post. Now let me start highlighting the next point in a framework, that it is equally important to understand what type of stocks not to add to your multi-bagger portfolio, right? Now see, basically in whichever industry, tailwinds have already happened. Tailwind means that the industry has already been given a massive push, a massive run-up has already happened. For example, a classic case in point are defense stock. For example, आप कोई भी defense stock उठा लो इस समय, narrative is that India is going to spend more money on defense sector, and therefore buy any defense stock, you will continue to make money forever. But see guys, it's a very regulation intensive industry. Regulations can come up anytime. Contracts can be given to any other company. A lot of headache is there. More importantly, a lot of run up has already happened on these firms. And the primary moat means the winning advantage or winning advantage for the business. What is the primary moat of a defense company? Well, its ability to win defense contracts. What does that moat depends on? You tell me in the comment and description box. Honestly, it just comes down to connection, government change, all this. So yeah, so that's the bottom line, that you must be intelligent enough to cut some of the bets, so that will allow you to focus on other better opportunities. Which brings me to the final point of the framework, that your bets should be contrarian. For example, I took a bet on Zomato, sitting on roughly 30% gain on Zomato already. Very good run up Zomato has given. And I have taken further bets on IPO beaten firms. For example, these are Paytm. So that's another big bet for me. These are Angel One, PB Fintech. All these are my bets in my multi-bagger portfolio. Why? Because I am choosing to believe in a contrarian narrative here with some logic, of course. So let me explain you that logic also. आप कोई भी डालो, right? For example, Paytm, right? Just go and check what is the EPS. So it used to be 326 minus rupees, right? And it grew all the way to 688 rupees. Now, is it coming down, this negative number? Yes, it is coming down. The day it becomes profitable, the money will be made, a lot of money, hopefully should be made in this stock. Do the same exercise for Zomato, right? You will see this happening again. This is something that I had been discussing for a while now on my channel also, that at one point in time, they used to have like minus 10,000 rupee as EPS. Now it is very good, right? It is almost minuscule and it is about to turn profitable. So that is the good part about the entire Zomato story. So hopefully this will happen in 2-3 stocks. So I have picked those. Maybe अब इसमें से story negative हो जाए, some stocks die. That is a natural part of this 50 stock selection. It can very well happen. But I hope you got the concept. Now comes the final and the most important point, that you have to stay invested in order to benefit from a multi-bagger story. That Zomato Pay, we have already made like 25% profit. Should we sell it and go away? Well, it depends on your vision. See the multi-bagger through, then you have to stay invested. So just to give you an idea, let me run you to the Triton story. So you'll see here there were phases when Titan stock did not move, right? It was around like 200, 2-3 साल तक कुछ नहीं हुआ. Then again this was a phase 2015 to almost 2016-17, again कुछ नहीं हुआ. Then this was again a consolidation phase, 1 year, nothing happened. So this type of stuff will keep on happening to every multi-bagger. You have to stay put. You just have to ask 2-3 basic questions. Is industry growing? Yes. Is the company still market leader? Yes. कुछ गड़बड़ घोटाले तो नहीं चल रहे? No, right? So if the answer is sensible here, then you stay invested, see it through, don't judge a stock by the price. This, according to me, is the most critical component of finding multi-baggers, that despite all the noise, you stay invested in a stock, which is the hardest thing to do. This again, you will understand more if you fundamentally understand about the stock market. So invest in terms of learning about stock markets, build your knowledge. Yes, India is going to build a lot of multi-baggers in the next few decades. You should be a part of it. That would allow you to truly grow your wealth. So spend some time learning more about this. But I hope that this video helped you understand the entire concepts. Now, one way of balancing your high growth stock story is to do hedging of your portfolio. So this is a video. Please go and check it out. This will teach you how to hedge your portfolio and would allow you to become better investors. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.